What's up guys, Bionic here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Yesterday we covered a clan boss build with a ninja in there, and although we did pretty good and there is room for optimization, and I do want to try and reach 100 million damage with that team or a similar team that has ninja, I first had another team that I wanted to show to you guys first, because that is the new bar on my account. I've been able to reach a new record, so I want to share that team with you guys, as well as a couple of things that I tried out that worked, maybe didn't work in some cases, so that you don't make the same mistakes. All that said, let's get right to it. But before we get to all that, I need to inform you guys that I will be streaming tomorrow night for the 10x Duchess event. I will be summoning myself as well as doing some viewer summons. So if you have some shards that you would like to let me open, we're going to do that tomorrow night, same time, 7:30 Eastern time on Twitch. I have 18 sacred shards saved up right now, and I think it is worth it for me to go all in for a Duchess. So if you guys plan on doing something similar, again, you want to let me do it, or just show up on the stream to see how lucky we are or not lucky we are, then please do that. I would love to see you guys there. Now on to this clan boss business. So what you have right here is the series of tests that I've been doing so far on my account. All right, so remember, this is my classic team. This is what I've been working with for the past couple of months, and I've been trying to improve this as much as I can, but it hasn't been easy with the same champions. Then yesterday I presented this build right here, which is not fully optimized with a ninja dealing a ton of damage. But here's what I don't like about this team, is that Fane is taking the hit, and because she's taking a hit, or I mean the stun, she isn't applying her decreased defense and weaken as often as she should. Therefore, I'm losing DPS for herself, but also for the other champions, and that is a problem. So I think ninja is great, but you need a really solid stun target for this to work. Of course, Lydia comes to mind, but I don't want to build my Lydia for the clan boss just yet, because I do use her for, let's say, the Doom Tower. Then I quickly showed you guys this build right here, and this is what I wanted to test today, but I'm not going to be covering this build today because I tried something that's maybe not exactly optimal, which is this. I ended up putting the Warcaster in the lead to see if this guy getting a little bit more crit rate would help improve this damage overall. But we have another problem here, guys, which is basically that Krila is not always the stun target. Fahrakin will become the stun target as well, and because this guy is our decreased defense now, we're actually suffering quite a bit. Decreased defense was barely on for the entire fight, so I'm going to say overall, this is not exactly the way to go. Okay, so Warcaster lead is something that I also tried today, because it's an easy way to get a little bit more damage out of this guy, but what you need to do to compensate for that is to give him the Steadfast Mastery, which I'll show you guys at the end when we do the gear and the Masteries. But for now, let's go over this run of the new clan boss team that I've been able to get a record with, which is still the Batman Forever team. But what we did here instead is we put Warcaster in the lead for that little bit of extra damage for himself, and then we added, instead of Krila and instead of Ninja, Fahrakin The Fat. So Fahrakin is the guy that I got recently. I did make a video saying he's the latest game changer on my account. I knew I wanted to build him for the clan boss. I knew I wanted to test him in the clan boss with my original team, which is what you see right here. So the setup is pretty straightforward. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because you guys have seen this multiple times before. So what Fahrakin brings to the table instead of the other champions is the increased crit rate buff, which I need, increased crit damage buff, which is great, some more decreased defense, but more importantly, HP burn and more poison. So along with Fane, we end up having a whole lot of HP burn and poison debuffs. Even though Ninja by himself will deal more damage, it's always about the synergy of the team. As you saw right there, Fane took a stun. Okay, you see she's stunned right there? That is normal. That is the first stun, because on the initial hit we do take some damage before we go into block damage. Therefore, she's going to become the stun target, but eventually she's going to heal herself with her skills. All the other champions, Seeker, Warcaster, and Roshgard, have immortal pieces. They're going to heal themselves back up to 100% HP. And then Fahrakin is our only low health champion. Therefore, he is the stun target because Warcaster has the Steadfast Mastery. But I'll tell you right now, you don't need to do the Warcaster lead. It might just be more complicated than anything else for, let's say, the affinity bosses. So I'm probably going to go back to just putting Fahrakin in the lead like Krila was. Okay, as you can see also at the top, we're kind of filling up the bar with the decreased attack, which is kind of useless in this case. I wonder if I'm running into some issues where I'm not applying certain debuffs. It might happen, but overall this is still, in my opinion, my best option right now. We're gonna revise Ninja after, but for the time being, like I said in the beginning, this is the new bar. This is the new height of the bar that I wanted to set on my account. So by turn 4, I think everything is all set up. I'll show you guys the calculator in a second. And finally, the stun target becomes Fahrakin the Fat, and then that's it. This just keeps going on and on and on and on. So far, it has worked on Void. It's gotten me a record. I have done it on Magic Affinity today, which the two champions, Fahrakin and Feint, are weak affinity, and I still got a record. This is how pretty good this is overall. We only have one legendary champion, which is Roshgard. That's kind of fun as well. But let's fast forward to the end here, because at this point, that's it, right? It's going to be like this the entire fight. So let's go towards the end. You can see Fahrakin here losing a little bit more HP and a little bit more. That's because of the poison tick that is happening outside of the block damage buff. Not the end of the world. He does have the Life Drinker Mastery. If ever he gets below 50%, he'll most likely just heal himself back up with a War Master proc. So that's it. Turn 46, just about there. 47, 48, 49, and we're gonna finish this with a very reasonable amount of damage. Like I also said in the beginning, Deadwood gave me a challenge to try and reach 100 million damage with the team that we presented yesterday, but I thought I'd still go over this before I go back to, you know, working with Ninja. So 90.64 million damage on my account. This is the first ever. So now let's go check out their gear and masteries. Starting with the tower himself. So nothing has changed. He's basically the same as he was before. This was a very easy swap on my account. I literally just grab the gear from Krila and put it on Fahrakin the Fat. Okay, so I'm not going to spend too much time here. Obviously, more crit damage would be a lot better. More attack would be a lot better. I was going to do this guy in a toxic set with my other build, but now if I use Fahrakin, it's too much. I'm not going to need that extra poison debuffs. So we have all the skills done, and for the masteries, War Master, along with this right here, into deterrence for the occasional proc when we get stunned, right? Then we have our Warcaster, which I just changed today to get the Steadfast Mastery. Again, you might not need this. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go back to just the typical build, because I believe I can reach 100% crit rate with gear and the buff. Whereas this right here is preventing me from getting to deterrence, which is maybe an extra counter attack proc throughout the fight, maybe a couple. So I think I'm going to get more damage as I was before, right? So same thing for the masteries, pretty straightforward. Let's keep going here with the next one. We're going to do our Seeker, which also has not really changed. Same setup for the masteries. All the skills are obviously done. This guy does have higher multiplier, so he does have slightly better stats than the other two, which is covered. Just the right amount of crit rate, the right amount of speed. Again, I'll show you the calculator in a second, and then we're going to do our Fahrakin the Fat. So he's kind of the new clutch champion on my account. 223 speed, good enough. Your range is about 218 to 225, 226. Don't quote me, but it should still work. 4K attack. Crit rate is maybe too high for the buff that we have. Crit damage maybe too low. All the skills are obviously done on this guy, and then for the masteries, we do have a pretty typical build here. So obviously, sniper being a little bit more important on him because the decreased defense is on his A1. It's not 100% chance. This though is, so it's not really affecting that, but overall that's it. Then we have the Feint back in relentless gear compared to yesterday. She was in reflex and slower. 75% crit rate, maybe 5% too much. 4.5k attack, 234% crit damage, which is, again, you know, there's room for improvement. I get it, but overall it works. The skills are all done. And then for the masteries, same concept here, almost the same as Fahrakin, but we just don't get sniper because all of her debuffs are on a 100% success rate. And instead we went with kill streak, which is good for, I guess, the faction crit, right? So that's pretty much it right there, guys. That is my new record on my account, which is absolutely amazing. And like I said, today I tested it on the Magic Affinity. Works just great. In fact, I did a run on Nightmare just now, 88.4 million with this exact team, full auto yet again. So I really like it. You can kind of see other kind of other builds, right, that are very similar. This one is double allies join attack, and again, I really want to test that with Krila, but I'm not convinced it's going to be my best option unless I can guarantee that Fahrakin does not become the stun target. Anyway, all that said, here's the calculator for you guys. So we have Warcaster at 266 speed, 249 for Seeker, then we've got 247 for Feint, 246 Roshgard, and 223 for Fahrakin the Fat. So now back to Ninja. Ninja or do I keep testing this? What do you guys want to see? But so far I'm going to say Ninja has been outmatched on my account by the fat guy. Yeah, so again, you know, you never know. It really just depends on the team composition. So we haven't found the perfect setup for our Ninja guy yet, but we will keep working on him. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.